This is the plaintiff, Linda Bigelow. She says she sold her car to the defendant and he still owes her money and refuses to pay the agreed-upon purchase price. The crook has her car in his possession, and she's suing this no-good guy today for the $5,000 she's owed. This is the defendant, Jeffrey Pitkin. He says this woman's been a nightmare to deal with since day one. Owe her $5,000. Please, if anyone's owed money today, it isn't the plaintiff. It's him. He's accused of not paying in full. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $1,200 for mental anguish.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket. The plaintiff sold her car to the defendant, says he did not pay in full, and she is sick of chasing him for the balance. But the defendant says the plaintiff has been a nightmare to deal with, and he's confident the judge will find him not guilty. It's the case of you are driving me crazy.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
All right, Ms. Bigelow, you decided to sell your car to Mr. Pitkin, correct?
Yes.
How did that come about?
In December, I bought a new car. I left the other car in front of my daughter's house because I didn't have anybody to drive it back to my house for me in Massachusetts. My future son-in-law called me to tell me that somebody wanted to buy the car. I was asking $500. They talked me down to $400.
So he being the defendant, decided he wanted to buy your car. How did he know your son-in-law? Were they friends or they didn't know each other?
I don't know. I don't know.
All right. So did you go back to Connecticut, I guess, where your car was in order to sell the car?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And then you meet the defendant?
Yes, ma'am.
And you agree on a price of $400?
Yes, ma'am.
And but he doesn't pay you $400. What happens there?
Right. He gave me $200, so I wrote out a receipt stating that he gave me the $200 because I am living in a homeless shelter, and all my stuff was in storage, so I needed to get the title out because the car was registered until February of 2021.
Okay.
So we were on an agreement that he would give me $200, and because I was busy, I told him that I couldn't do it for a couple of days, but I would go and get this title out of my...
Is that the reason why... Can I ask you something? Is that the reason why it was $200 now, then $200 later?
No, he didn't have the $400.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
He said to me.
All right. And why didn't you just say, okay, call me when you've got the $400? Like, why did you let him take the car at all?
Because he shook on it. My witness will say
you know what we call? We have a name for people who shake on it. We call them litigants.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So, because you're being, you're only asking $400 for something called a car, and if you're asking $400, that side is going to should expect that there's going to be issues. Otherwise, you would be asking more. And it is a 20-year-old car. And that side then gets the car. And what happens, Mr. Pitkin, when you get the car?
The reason it was $200, I carry $400 on me at all times. So I don't know why she would say I didn't have it. It was that she didn't have a title. I couldn't receive a car without the title.
Then don't receive the car. Why did you pick up the car? What was the point of having the car if it doesn't have a title? Why was the car in your possession? And it still is today.
No, it's not.
Okay. No, it's not. Why did you take custody of the car?
So the car wouldn't stay on at all.
Why did you take the car?
Listen to me.
No, you listen to me. You can't do anything with a car without a title, so why take it? Why not tell her, lady, come back when you have the title? Just the same question I asked her. I'm asking you.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you an answer if you let me. Is that
we'll see.
I had to find out what I had to find out. This is on a side street. I couldn't find out what was exactly wrong with the car. I wasn't willing to pay even, $400.
I'm sorry. Hold on a second. Are you suggesting you were test driving the car?
No, ma'am. I had to bring the vehicle. The battery was no good. It was under warranty in her name. I had to bring it to AutoZone.
People test out a car to see what's wrong with it before they buy a car, not after they buy a car. No, so did you already have an agreement to buy? In fact, you had something we call a bill of sale, right?
No.
Yes.
No, ma'am.
Yeah, you do.
It was an agreement. I have never seen that before in my life.
Is his signature on this bill of sale, Ms. Bigelow?
No, ma'am.
Mine's not.
Okay, because that's what a bill of sale. Right, but if you're writing out something about what the agreement is between the two of you, don't you think his signature should be on it? so that he can't say, I've
do
never
now,
seen that
yes.
before? Okay. All right. So what
Yes,
happens,
ma'am.
Mr. Pitkin? You take the car and then what?
Okay, so I knew Tony. That's her son-in-law. I knew him. So because there were some issues with it, I didn't want to purchase that car, even if it was only $400, if there was major problems. What I was told was it was just a battery and a rear view mirror. The window, the driver's side window, it was the wrong size window. It wouldn't go up. I didn't know that. I was told it was right window. So I had to find out what was wrong with the vehicle, and it was only $400. So if the battery, when I put the battery in at AutoZone, if the car wasn't going to stay on, I definitely was going to continue purchasing the vehicle.
I don't know what you mean when you say continue purchasing. You have possession of the vehicle and you're supposed to give her another $200 when she finds the title. That's what happened. Why are you making this into, I got to taste the thing for how long?
No.
You never returned
No.
the car. You literally kept the car and then did whatever you did with it. So I don't understand this. This was just me taking possession of the car to find out what was wrong. The way people do that is they have the seller drive it to a mechanic. A mechanic looks at it and tells you whether it's a good used car to buy.
So Your Honor, I had the car not even 24 hours, okay? I called Linda. I also called Tony, who I met Linda through. On Saturday, I bought the car. I don't know what the date that says. I bought the car on March 5th, on Friday. I went to AutoZone that day, put the battery in. I drove the car a total of 37 miles. I could not drive it no more. There was a broken tie rod and a broken control arm. I called. I have a
Why'd you
witness to
buy
it.
the car if you couldn't even test drive it? Sounds like you bought it for parts.
No, I wouldn't buy that car for parts because Tony.
How many $400 cars have you bought?
Well, she said she wanted $1,200. I don't buy $400 cars, but because Tony owed me money, it was worked on the price. All right, but it was.
I don't get what
Tony
that
told me
means. I don't get what that means.
So, Tony gave her the car supposedly. Tony owed me money. He still owes me money. So this was part of it. I was going to get my money back in some way. I only had to pay a little bit for the car, but I told him I'm not going to pay for it if there's something wrong with it major.
So what did you really pay for the car then, rather than $400?
I gave. Listen, ma'am, Your Honor.
How much work did he owe you, or money did he owe you that I'm supposed to factor in?
$600. But what it comes down to, Your Honor, is that the vehicle. I called them on Saturday. It was contingent. There was no bill of sale. It was contingent upon the vehicle being okay. It's not roadworthy at all.
Here's what I want from you. I'd like the text where 24 hours later you say this. My trial period is over and I've decided that I don't want to buy the car. All that stuff.
Okay.
Do you have any proof of that?
Okay.
Do you have proof of what you're saying, which is that, Judge, wait a minute. I didn't buy a car. This was an inspection period. Do you have proof of that?
Yes.
Give it to me.
I mean, I have the text. I'm going to show you the text.
Show me any text. And while you're looking for that, I have a question for you, Ms. Bigelow. Do you have any witnesses here for you? Your son-in-law's here?
I do. I have two.
Can I talk to is your son-in-law one of them?
Yes, ma'am.
Who else was at the sale besides your son-in-law?
Nobody.
Okay, let me talk to your son-in-law. Can you put him on the computer here? Hello, what's your name?
Anthony Provencal.
Can you raise your right hand, please?
Thank you. You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, on that day when Mr. Pitkin took possession of the car, had the sale concluded, or was he supposed to be just giving her $200 and then testing the car out to see if he actually wanted to buy it?
No, they came with an agreement where he would give her $200 that day, and when she gave him the title, he would give her the other $200.
Right. Was there ever anything about then I get to try it out, then I get to decide if I want to back out, then I get to return it?
Yes, he took it around the block and said, okay, I'll take it. And they filled out that little form on the paper there. And
what did he fill out on that paper there? Because he says he never saw that paper there.
Just stating that the paper stating that Linda sold the car for $400 with $200 now, and then $200 when he received the title.
According to him, he's never seen this paper in his life.
I literally stood out there while they did the transaction. So.
Can you identify this paper as the one that he was looking at, or not really?
Yes.
All right. Okay, I got it. Thank you. So let's see the text we do have. So scroll down so I could read it. Pull back half an inch. Move to the right. Move to the right. Linda, I'm sorry I didn't call right back. 2 long calls, and I'm trying to drive now. I'm scared of the car. The front left tire is going to fall off. I'll drive straight and hit a crack in the road. It feels like it's about to fold or something and makes a loud noise turning left or right. I will call you soon, but I only have driven 37 miles since Friday. It's bad, Linda, real bad. Linda, the car needs too much. I'm in court. Can I meet you for my money and you take the car? I can't talk. All right. And then underneath that, she says, where is the court? I'll meet you there. Do not drive my car anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I said,
and then
I'm
what
not.
happened?
I said, I'm not.
And then
she wouldn't give me my money.
Well, wait a
She wouldn't give me
second.
my
Let
money.
Let me see what the next thing is after that.
I'm out. And then she said, where's my car?
Okay. I think I
said,
have it from there. So hold on and let me see.
There's parts, but she wouldn't give me my money.
Ms. Bigelow,
Yes, ma'am.
he tells you he wants his 200 back, and you tell him no, right? Because days had passed and it was an as-is
I
sale, and you
didn't tell
wanted your
him
money.
no.
Oh, you told him
That's
yes?
not true. No, I told him let's meet. I had his $200. Let's meet. He never said anything about the $200 to me. He wanted to pay me another $100 in the text message, and I said no. Then he told me he was going to take it he wanted to pay another $50. I said no, because I know it had cosmetic work done to it. Then he proceeded to tell me I was a lunatic. He proceeded to tell me that my daughter OD'd that I didn't even know about.
Had that
Then he
actually
told me that
happened?
the apple, yes, ma'am.
And that's how you learned
Yes,
about it?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
You've had my car tomorrow. It will be a week. Read the receipt. That's why I wrote it like I did. So it's clearly some paperwork that you don't want to show me. Obviously, you are bat crazy like your daughter. It was 2 days before your daughter took 50 pills to kill herself. Obviously, as expression goes or saying goes, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. You should be in a mental hospital. Why were you writing like this to her?
First off, I don't want you to think her daughter passed away. She didn't pass away. But second off is, she
shouldn't be shook up if her daughter tried to commit suicide. That's not enough to shake her up. And you're using it in an argument, Ms. Bigelow. Why are you suing for $5,000 when what the guy owes you is another $200?
Because the car value is worth $2,500.
Yeah, but he never agreed to pay $2,500 for it. And if it was, why'd you sell it to him for $400?
I wanted $500 for it because
but you didn't. See, I mean, you're talking to me about stuff that was in your dreams and hopes. But at the end of the day, the contract is for $400. So I would expect you to come to court and sue for the other $200. Right? And then you'd be made whole and your court costs. But instead you're suing for $5,000. You want $2,000 for mental anguish because you don't like how it went down. You want $500 for travel expenses from Massachusetts to Connecticut. Why?
Because I had to come back and forth to the courts. But I'm going to tell you why I'm suing for $5,000. Okay? Because the car is still running. The car is on the road under another VIN number. And I took pictures of it the other night.
Okay. You did send pictures.
Walmart, Your Honor. Yes,
you saw
I did.
your car at Walmart. How do you know it was your car if the VIN number was different?
How did I know? Because they didn't change everything that I changed in the car, ma'am.
Okay, so that I'll see that in the pictures you're talking about?
Yes, ma'am. Those were taken in the parking lot of Walmart. That's how I found my car, ma'am.
Okay, but here's my question to you. If this car is registered in your name, why didn't you just call the police and say, this is my car?
Ma'am, I did call the police, and they told me to take it to court and let them handle it because I'm opening up a can of worms. It's registered underneath a different VIN number.
Right, so it is registered to someone and with a different VIN, and so maybe this isn't your car.
It is my car, ma'am.
What's unique about it that makes you think it's your car?
If you look in the first picture of 2019 to the front end of the car where it has a main plate on it, you will see the broken. You will see the thing underneath is broken.
Yeah, the grill. Part of the grill is missing right there.
Yep, and I took that silver piece off. Now, if you go to the picture of the one that I took Friday night
Did you tell the police? Did you ask the police if it was registered to Jeffrey Pitkin?
Yes, I did.
And they said what?
It's not. It's registered to some Sergio.
Okay. All right.
And
all right, Mr. Pitkin, why is this? You're suing for $1,200 back. You want $200 back, and you want $1,000 for pain and suffering.
Yes, ma'am.
Sure.
And where's the car?
The car? From what I understand, it was impounded or brought to a
Show me proof of that.
I don't.
Right.
I don't have it.
Right. Here's what's going to happen, folks. Court is about making people whole, not ching ching, let the cash register ring. Ms. Bigelow, if Mr. Pitkin had gone through with the agreement that you two had, he would have to pay you another $200, not some negotiated price after he drove it for a while. I don't believe for 1 second that anything but a consummated deal happened when he took that car. He wasn't test driving it. It was a deal. There was a bill of sale, and it's either the one you've provided, which is a carbon, or it's the one he won't provide, because he just wants his flapping gums to run the day, and that's not going to happen. So I believe, just like your son-in-law says, that there was a completed sale, and he owes you $200. He just changed his mind. And you don't get to change your mind in an as-is used car sale. For a car you're buying for $400, it's not, oh, are you going to drive it and see if it works for you? It's, you're intending to buy the car. Just like it looks. It walks like a duck, quacks like a duck. It's a duck, okay? So he owes you the other $200. He doesn't owe you $5,000. He owes you the other $200, plus, of course, your court costs. And you don't get mental anguish in a case because someone just gave you Surus and is annoying you. That doesn't turn a contracts case into a personal injury case. It's just a contracts case, okay? So next time that you have a bill of sale, make sure that his signature's on it, the other side's signature's on it. So I am finding that he owes you $200 plus your court costs. You don't get mental anguish. You don't get travel expenses to and from Connecticut, where your daughter lives and you go to visit her, where you had the car and where you chose to sell the car from. On his counterclaim against you, he gets $0. You get $200 and your court costs. Good luck.
So the plaintiff prevails to the tune of $200 that the defendant really originally owed her. Mr. Pitkin, what do you think about that? You got to give her the $200.
Well, you know, that'll be a cold day. But, you know, anyways, what it comes down to is that makes no sense. A bill of sale without my signature. And, you know, it's amazing that this car, you can't sell something fraudulently. It can't be sold under fraudulent conditions. I have 3 days to cancel out a contract, if it was a contract. I was never provided the title. I mean, this is just ridiculous, but the judge is who she is, and I'll go along with it.
All right, well, you owe her $200. That's the judge's decision. Ms. Bigelow, you're only going to get $200 back, not $5,000 that you were suing for. You okay?
I'm fine with that. I just wanted to show the road he's a thief. He's got to go to court in August for another theft, so...
Very interesting case. All right, let's see what Harvey thinks about it.
Okay, Doug, let me just say, she's suing for $5,000 for mental anguish. She cannot get mental anguish for breaching a contract, even if the other person's a total jerk. Mental anguish has to do with emotional distress, and that is a tort, which is a wrongful injury to somebody.
What happened to your husband's pinky on his right hand?
The unfortunate story of my pinky on my right hand, yes. Almost 40 years ago, I was playing in a pickup basketball game at Boston University, and a guy threw me a hard bounce pass with a lot of topspin. It hit this finger, and the finger just kind of exploded. And I looked at it, and the bone was sticking straight out, and these other two pieces pulled down from the tendons and the ligaments, pulled down alongside. And they were just kind of dangling there. And it really...
The game stopped?
Yeah, it did stop. I went to the hospital. It really focuses your attention because you're looking at it and you see something that's impossibly white. That whole bone sticking out. It's like the whitest thing you've ever seen, China white, and it looked like the end of a chicken wing after you eat all the meat off of it, right? And it's just, you know, I got to the hospital and I filled out the forms with my left hand, and the first doctor that saw me looked at it and he goes, God, I hope you don't play the piano. I said, thankfully I don't. But that was a compound dislocation. They fixed it, and I could only bend it that far. But then I broke the tip about 10 or 15 years ago in a hockey game, and it just was unstable.
A hockey game. A grown man with assets was playing hockey,
right?
Which When you say I broke it in a hockey game, why don't you be more specific?
This was purely self-defense, all right? But yeah, I maybe was throwing some knuckles with another guy from the other team, and I hit his helmet with my right hand, and it broke. The tip broke. So.
Right. And did you ever play hockey again?
No. My wife kind of
got involved.
My wife terminated my career. Yeah.